working hard. Hope that you have been, okay with how things have been happening, and I hope that you are able to take this weekend to rest up and get right back at it again. Alright, let's get started. I think the first thing that I want to start with is this super awkward interaction that I had with a girl in my class at the gym. So, to give you some background, I started school about a month ago now, and I don't know anybody here. I'm totally new. I'm a total stranger. And I've always really enjoyed not knowing people, being in a new environment, because it gives me the opportunity to meet new people, to reinvent myself. And there's just a lot of learning that happens when you are in a new environment. But the first day of class, I was doing my best to introduce myself to people. I went and sat at different tables during the meals that they served us. I would introduce myself to pretty much everybody because I just really wanted to, get to know the people that I was going to be spending the next few years with. One of these people just so happened to be an attractive girl. And I made note of that almost immediately upon seeing her. I was like, okay, yeah, she's someone that I might want to get to know. So I sat down and I talked with her, had a very, very cordial conversation. It was really just, small talk, basic chit chat. Where are you from? Why are you here? How did you end up here? What do you want to do? That kind of stuff. But since then, I had the impression that there was maybe some reciprocated interest. And I say that because when we would pass each other in the halls, when we would be sitting down in a classroom before class begins, she would be sure to say hi to me. She would be sure to just ask me how I was doing. And so I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Maybe there is something here. And so, I don't know, I just had that in the back of my mind. Also, I've been going to the gym about every day. It's just one of those things that I've been doing to kind of break up the monotony of my schedule, because I spend my whole day at school doing homework and sitting in class. And while I've been at the gym, I just so happen to notice that she would be there around the same time, like every single day. And so I was like, oh man, like we have similar schedules, we're interested in similar things. There might be some promise here, but talking, I don't know, it's also hard to know where to draw the line. I have an uncle of mine who said, make sure you never pee in your own pool. Like if you start dating somebody, if you begin a relationship with someone who is part of your schedule, part of one of your colleagues at work, and that goes sour, you have essentially peed in your own pool. Because now you have to see them every single day, and now you will have a constant reminder of all that went wrong, and it will just feel really awkward. So anyways, for that reason, I was like, yeah, let's just keep this on a, colleagues, friends basis here. Maybe it's not wise within the first few weeks to attempt something. But one day I was like, you know what? sitting there, and I said hi back to her, and she walked across the gym and started her workout. And I stood up, and I'm like, you know what? What's the harm? Like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm gonna go talk to her. I'm gonna ask her on a date. So I stood up, and I made my way across the gym. And she was right in the middle of a set, so I didn't interrupt. I kind of just went to the drinking fountain and sat there for a minute so I could catch her as she was taking a break. Once she started to take her break, I approached her. I walked up and I said, hey, I just have to ask, are you currently dating anybody? And I asked it in a way where it was more inquisitive as to, like, I don't know, I was like, oh yeah, we have a lot of classmates who are married. Are you in a relationship? Or, yeah, and that sounds uncomfortable. That sounds really uncomfortable. But I promise the way that I said it sounded more normal. And she, like, looked at me. And then she looked past me. And, I was like, what's going on? Standing right behind me was this, like, 6'5" giant dude. She's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend right there. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, anyways, sorry to interrupt, get back to it. But he was furious. He was so mad. You know, obviously I don't know what I don't know. You can't blame me really for not being aware that she was in a relationship, right? Am I at fault for that? But I'd never seen the guy before, never talked to him before, didn't know that she was in a relationship. But he was so mad. I said hi to him, like, oh, I'm in her class, it's good to meet you, what's your name, or something. And I don't even know if he answered me. He, like, grumbled something and just kind of, like, stood there. But, anyways, I was like, well, you do have a good workout. And I just left, and I felt really awkward. The problem is that every day I go to the gym now, I see him there, and he just stares me down. He's so... he comes across as pretty hostile. So I'm like, dude, I'm not going to try anything. Chill. But I don't know. And she continues to be what I would say a little bit flirtatious. Like, while we're in class. And I catch her, like, kind of making eye contact with me every once in a while when we're sitting in class and stuff, so I don't know what's going on there. She did mention they'd only been dating for like a month or so it's a pretty fresh relationship. But I'm not gonna be the guy that gets involved with that. I've already stepped in a little too deep, you know what I mean? So that's awkward. Every day when I go to the gym, I see this guy, and I think he wants to kill me. So there's that. Another wild thing that happened this week that's just so unfortunate. And I think everyone has experienced this to a certain degree. But when you move somewhere new, you have to find barbers that are competent. And that's not always the easiest thing. I don't know what it is, but I feel like every time I try a new barber, one that even is, you know, pretty expensive, one that has done it for a long time, they always give me a hack job. And it might be my fault, maybe I really suck at explaining what I want, but I'll bring my phone and I'll show pictures. I'm like, hey, obviously this is a different person, but I want a haircut that's anyways, looked this guy up. Drove. It turns out that he was actually like 25 minutes away from where I live, which was lame because I thought it was way closer when I was booking the haircut, but that's on me. So I drove about 25 minutes. It was a pretty cool barbershop, I'm not gonna lie. But I showed up, and I walked through the door, and there's this dude just sitting there, waiting for me. And I can tell he's just done. He's done. I think I booked the haircut around 6 o'clock. So I was definitely his last cut of the day. And I could just see it. He was just itching to get home. And I don't fault him for that. But also, I paid for 30 minutes. You better dang well take every one of those minutes cutting my hair. So anyways, I sit down in the chair, start chatting with him, and I show him a picture. I'm like, hey, I just want this. And I promise, guys, it was like a very normal looking haircut, nothing crazy. Something so average that you wouldn't even notice it. And he's like, okay, yeah, we can do that for you. And he's like looking at his watch and stuff, and I'm like, is everything okay? He's like, oh no, things are okay. I'm just, ready to get home. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that, brother. I'm done for the day too. But also, that's not what you want to hear, right? As the client. So I sit down in the chair, pulls out his clippers, and he just immediately flings these clippers across my head and just shaves. He just shaves the sides so thin that there's like no hair. You might as well have pulled out a straight blade and just actually shaved my hair. But he gave me like a buzz, like a really, really, really tight cut around the sides. And it happened so fast that I couldn't even be like, oh, yeah, that's a little shorter than I wanted. But he gives me like a really, really tight cut on the sides. And I'm just sitting there watching myself look more and more stupid in the mirror as he's talking about why he moved to the area and how he's recovering from substance abuse and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna look so stupid. And you just die a little bit inside. You die a little bit inside in those moments when you see yourself getting uglier and there's nothing you can do to reverse the outcome. So I sit in the chair, watch myself get uglier, and he cuts really high, really tight, but he leaves like the middle part really, really long. Like he essentially gave me a mohawk. And I'm like, dude, how did you get? I showed you a picture. So it gives me like this really stupid looking mohawk. I look ridiculous. And I'm just sitting there dying inside. And after about 10 minutes, I'm out of the chair. And I walk out of that barbershop. It's like there's nothing he could have done to repair this to make it look any better. And I also am the kind of person, I just feel really uncomfortable telling people to redo something that they think they've done well enough to, let you leave with. I don't want to be like, actually your haircut sucked. Go back and fix it. But really there was not much to fix. He'd already cut it all off. So I get home. I look at myself in the mirror. And I'm just like, wow, I'm gonna get bullied. I am going to get bullied for how stupid I look right now. You know what? Maybe I would look better if I just buzzed this all off. Maybe I'd look better. And I sat there debating for a minute. I eventually decided, yeah, I gotta buzz this off. So I pulled out my clippers, put it on like the longest ugliest setting that it had, because I didn't want to look bald or anything. And I just buzzed it all off. And I looked better. I'm not gonna show you guys because I'm still very self-conscious. I looked better, but I still looked ridiculous, like a nub. I looked like a thumb. But it was still better than what that guy did to me. It's better than the ugly looking mohawk. So, that feeling is the worst. When you get a haircut and you know the next day you're gonna have to just be present and everyone is gonna see how ridiculous you look. And you have to explain yourself over and over and over again. And just everyone's like, oh, did you get a haircut? Did you get a haircut? And you have to be like, yeah, I got a haircut. It was so lame. People were very kind about it the next day. But I was like, yeah, guys, do not go to this barbershop unless you want to look like a nub. And so anyways, I've had to go like the past week with this really close buzz cut looking hairdo. And it's definitely been humbling. It's definitely reminded me that I am just a goober. So anyways, there were also some pretty important receptions and networking events that I had to show up to looking just so stupid. But that's life. And hair grows back. There's nothing to really be all that sad about.